Hi, I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I teach all about parenting, good communication, and how to build strong family bonds all over the world through the lens of the principle self-government. But I also am a homeschooler, and in this video I'm talking about homeschool's dirty little secret. In this video, we're going to be talking about what is happening with the homeschooling trend, especially in the United States right now, and what parents are finding as they're embarking upon their homeschooling journey, and how that might be a dirty little secret of homeschool. I recently read a news article by journalist Hannah Ray Lambert talking about how in the state of Washington, the largest county is contemplating closures of schools. There was discussion in this article as to why this may be the case. Is it because so many people are homeschooling since COVID? Because there are so many people homeschooling since COVID. Or is it because so many people are moving out of the state of Washington, because there have been a lot of people moving out of that state into other places? Either way, though, there is this shift that's happening away from public schools. In my state, where I live, there has been no student growth. This has never happened to my knowledge. So in the state of Washington, there is a loss of student growth. It's negative student growth. Where I live, we have had no student growth whatsoever, but we haven't dipped below. We're just kind of flatlined. But people have moved into our state from places like Washington, so that would suggest that we should have higher student growth in the schools. But we're not. So what does that mean? Well, there's one thing that I know as a homeschooler and a person who maintains connection into that area, and that is that homeschool numbers are booming. Ever since the COVID pandemic, it's as if parents thought to themselves, I kind of like this. I think I'm going to keep doing this, or I see that child benefits from this, or I didn't know this could be a good option for my family. Anyway, people are starting to look at homeschool as a viable option for the success for their children's educational and upbringing needs. This is super exciting, especially as a veteran homeschooler who raised all of her children with homeschool except for my foster children, whom I wasn't allowed to homeschool. But all of my 4 children were homeschooled all the way up. And what I found was freedom, connection. I found something that I didn't know was going to be on that other side of the homeschool door. In fact, that thing I found was the little dirty secret of homeschool that I think many people are finding out now. So before we talk about this dirty little secret, leave me a comment. Have you noticed also that many people are homeschooling? And if so, what are the reasons that you're noticing that people are homeschooling? Does it concern you? Does it not concern you? I mean, I know people could debate the topic forever because we all have our different experiences, the way that we see this situation, and what concerns we might have. But I think it would be interesting for all of us to discuss what we're observing around the world and around the nation related to homeschool. So leave me a comment. So let's talk about the dirty little secret of homeschooling that people are finding as they are embarking upon homeschool. I remember when I was a young mom and my children were very little, I got invited by a neighbor, an amazing woman, by the way, an amazing woman and mother, one of those that's all in on motherhood, that really is involved with her children in every way possible, to a party. This party happened on the first or second day of the school year, and it was a back-to-school party for moms. So her party basically was, come on to my house, we're going to have a lunch, and we're going to celebrate that our children are leaving, that we don't have to be with them anymore. and I came with my 2 little babies. At the time, I had sent off my foster children to school, so I was invited to this, and I came with my other little babies who were not school-aged yet. Something didn't seem right to me. As I was talking with these ladies and hearing them talk about, oh, how great it was to have time to themselves again, and how they didn't have to have the children underfoot, and life could be so much calmer now, and how excited they were to get back to school. Of course, they talked about other things too, but those particular conversations really bothered me. For some reason, I felt like this whole party is not principled. Now, I'm a pretty principled person, so when I notice that a principle is not being lived or someone is speaking contrary to principle, it just hits me. It shocks me, and that's how I felt that day, shocked. That these women who worked so hard to get their children in their lives and in their families would be celebrating that their children weren't there. So I started asking myself a question. Why would they be so excited about the children being gone? And I thought to myself, okay, well, there is that little Christmas song that says, and mom and dad can hardly wait for school to start again. And that line always rubbed me wrong too. But what happens during Christmas time, I thought, that seems like parents might want to be done with it? Well, there's this excitement, this craziness, this loudness, maybe even selfishness and aggressive behaviors. And the parents just might be tired of the behavior. In fact, over the summer, the parents, even though they love their children, might start not liking being around their children so much and might be wanting a little bit more of their own personal time. And they might think they have to send their child somewhere safe in order to get that personal time, so that it makes them happy to know that their child is safe. And I'm putting that in quotes because, boy, do I have other videos about that, of what is really safe and not safe at school. So definitely keep looking up educational videos here on this channel. But they feel like their children are safe at school, so now they can have the respite that they require. So I understood the parents and where they might be coming from, but something didn't feel right for me. In fact, it might have been that feeling that started me looking down this educational lens in a different way. My father was a public school teacher and university professor. In fact, if there was a family that was all in on education, it was our family. But something did not feel right about wanting your children to go away from you. So I started looking down other pathways and found myself excited about homeschooling, especially after, at the ages of 3 and 4, I was able to teach my 2 oldest children how to read. And then I thought to myself, oh no, if I send them there to learn their colors and letters when they already can read books, they are going to be bored and probably even be troublemakers. So, well, I guess I better homeschool, at least for now. But I'll pray about it every year, I said to myself. And I did pray about it every year to make sure it was still the right decision for my family. But I found something that I was overjoyed with, but didn't fully anticipate. And that was that actually I like my kids. I love my kids. I like being with my kids. My favorite place is being with my kids. My sharpen the saw, fill the bucket moments came when I was reading to my children, discussing with my children, playing with my children. That parents who are finding that overwhelming and exhausting had a completely different perspective than me. Me, the person who was now spending all day, every day with my children, teaching my children, I was finding that was the happiest place on earth. In fact, I tell people now that my children are all grown and gone from the nest, boo-hoo, I tell them that those times when you're raising your children, those are the golden years. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you don't just think of all the difficult moments and wait for them to go away and hope for a better time, because this is the best time. And when you get to the time when your children have completely left your home, you'll look back on those times for the rest of your life with yearning, with hoping, with wishing you could have those times again, because they are the most precious that you'll ever have. So what's the dirty little secret? The dirty little secret is that a lot of these parents that thought they didn't like being with their children start homeschooling and they recognize they love being with their children. Being with their children is their happiest place. It brings them the most fulfillment because truly, when a parent embarks upon this journey of homeschooling, that's actually what happens. Is they become more fulfilled in their parent role than they ever thought possible because they take on the full mantle, all of the education of that child in every aspect. And now suddenly they have more purpose as a parent than they ever had before. That is the secret that no one ever tells you about homeschooling. That it's beautiful, connective, healing, whole feeling, that the family actually develops bonds and connections that you never thought possible. That you do become each other's best friends and confidants. That your children come to you and share their thoughts and their feelings because they're used to sharing those thoughts and feelings with you in all things. That is the true secret and beauty and power of homeschooling. In the resources below this video, there are links to homeschooling websites that I've prepared for you. So I've got one in the works right now. I'll probably have to add it to this video a little later, that's going to give you tons of help if you're embarking on a homeschooling journey. But there is another website right now that you can go to. Everything on it is completely free, just so you know. And there is information on how to set up great homeschooling so that you can get this end result, which does require a certain type of relationship with your parenting, with your children. So that is heartofhomeschool.net. Go there, get free homeschooling help. But also you'll notice that there are other links to teachingselfgovernment.com, to Calm Parenting Toolkit. All of those links are going to help you with your parenting. If your parenting is going good, homeschooling will be the best thing that ever happened to you. If your parenting is not going good, then as you start homeschooling, just work on that first. So then your first stop should be probably heartofhomeschool.net and then teachingselfgovernment.com. Click on some of those links, do some research now. Let me help you. There's more videos here on homeschooling and parenting. This channel is for you so that you can have that dirty little secret in your life. Whether you choose to homeschool or not, you should enjoy your children.